Hey, it's Kevin. Thanks so much for stopping by. It's in the No BS social media chat. Today we're talking, like the title says, not the Bob Dylan song, but we're talking about a Rolling Stone. We're talking about the one and only, do we have to call him Sir Mick Jagger? We're talking about Mick Jagger, the lead singer of the Rolling Stones. And the reason we're talking Rolling Stones, I will be the first to admit, I'm not a big fan. I have a couple of greatest hits, I have a couple of albums, but I was always a Beatles guy versus a Rolling Stones guy, even though Mick Jagger and I share the same birthday. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Mick Jagger and social media. Over the last couple of weeks, Nashville has been abuzz because Mick was one of the special guests for Taylor Swift's show. You know, everywhere Taylor Swift is going on her 1989 tour, she's had special guests in every market she goes to. And on night number 2 in Nashville, Mick Jagger was there. And I think they got up and sang Satisfaction. I'm not sure. I don't remember which song they sang, which Rolling Stone song they sang together, but everybody went crazy. So everybody went crazy and they went on with life. And then on Monday morning, they wake up to a picture of Mick Jagger standing in, almost like on a pedestrian bridge in the woods. And somebody says, "Oh my gosh, I know where that is. That's at Radnor Lake," which is outside of Nashville. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Mick Jagger is still here." And everybody was just excited. Well, what amazes me is that, number one, Mick Jagger even has to care about social media. You know, I joke that Mick Jagger probably makes more money off a song he wrote 50 years ago, "I Can't Get No Satisfaction," than I make in a year. And that's just off of royalties that he splits with Keith Richards, and it's a 50-year-old song. I mean, I don't know that's the case, but I mean, Mick Jagger, other than the divorces and all the stuff throughout life, probably has more money than I can ever even dream of having, still to this day at the age of 72. But what really amazes me is that, number one of the rock gods, one of the people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, gets the need for social media. And number two, that he's 72 years old and gets the need for social media. I encounter so many artists, so many clients of businesses I deal with, so many of my media friends who either A, don't think they need social media, don't get why it's so important, or B, don't want to play, as I call it, the game. And it's not a game, but it's like Mick Jagger posting it wasn't a selfie because it was obviously somebody took the picture of him, an assistant or whoever it was. And again, it may not be Mick Jagger doing it, maybe his assistants. But somebody was smart enough to say, "Hey Mick, stand here by this bridge, let us take a picture, and we'll put about you wandering through Tennessee," or whatever they put on the post. Okay, fine. So it was cute. Then 2 days later, there's a picture of Mick Jagger, and you've probably seen it because it's all over social media, of Mick Jagger in a bowling alley with some cute little quote about "I don't bowl so well," or "I can't get no satisfaction bowling," or "like a bowling stone," or I don't remember what they captioned it. But well, around Nashville, everybody was just going crazy trying to figure out where the bowling alley was. They couldn't find this little 2 or 1 lane bowling alley, and they finally figured out, or at least they think it is, that it's rock and roller Jack White's private bowling lane in his house in Nashville. Then there are people talking about the fact that Jack White might, you know, be doing the next Rolling Stones album, or that Mick's in town for a special HBO project he's doing, or whatever it is. But I just sat here and just laughed with, here's one of the biggest rock and roll stars in the history of the planet, 72 years old, doesn't need to, shouldn't, wouldn't expect to care, but cares and gets social media. So my question to you is, why aren't you doing the same thing? I've been doing social media now almost 10 years. Full-time, 9 years, but almost 10 years full-time. You know, I was doing it part-time when I was still in radio. And that's just not for the radio station, but doing it, you know, to consult people with social media before we knew what to call it. And back then, people were just so afraid of it. And now, fast forward 10 years later, and everybody is either tired of it, over it, don't like it, and don't want to accept the fact that it's here to stay, and that you need to figure out how to make it work for you. The world all around us is changing, and if Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones can get it, I think you can too. Just something to ponder, something to think about, something that made me just step back and go, wow. I actually had something else I was going to talk about this week, but it's like, you know what? No, this is something, I don't want to say it's important, but this is something that we really need to think about. What are you doing to best utilize social media for your needs, whatever they may be, for your personal agenda? We got that 15 minutes of fame. Everybody wants it. Everybody seeks it. And I don't care if it's professionally. I don't care if it's just with your friends. How are you going to utilize social media and get people excited about what you're doing in life? You know, for Mick Jagger, it's mundane things like walking through the woods and bowling. It makes me laugh. The man's been all over the world, but still, he gets it. That's why he's a star. And that's why he's still relevant today, and that's why people still care. back with another No BS social media video. NoBSSocial.com. You can find the web videos there. You can find them on YouTube on our No BS Social channel. You can also find them on our Facebook page. And also, too, we're going to start featuring them on our brand new website, KevinMasonMusic.com. That's from a music marketing company, which has been in existence but under a different name for about a decade. And finally, enough people beat me up and said, you know what? You are your biggest brand, so go ahead and change it. So feel free to stop by Kevin Mason Music and kick the tires. You can also watch the latest video there, too. We'll see you next week with another No BS social media chat. If you'd like to connect one-on-one, and I'd love that more than anything, my email, my phone number, it's all coming up. I want to hear from you. Thanks so much.